wiped me clean. I mean, had me evicted somehow, one way or another. Had me evicted, and he got a rental agreement. He got to stay on the property. I had to leave. And I went to my ex-husband in here in Van Nuys, and I said, "Hey, I got a problem. I'm out of work, and I need a place to stay." And he said, "No, done."
And you really hate to see people homeless, but this is these are the decisions that modern women are making for themselves. Bad decisions, but once you make that bad decision as a grown person, who am I to stand in the way of that?
Listen, there's a very important social experiment happening right here on TikTok, and I think all of us girlies need to be aware of the social experiment.
So the experiment is basically a woman dressing up like a stud and then hitting on straight men, and like she's getting the men's numbers actually. And this woman who made the video, she's like, "Oh my gosh, women need to watch out, because if men are giving studs attention, I think they might be gay." Because again, men being gay is like the biggest deal in 2025 apparently. Problem with this is, are there some studs where you're like, "Oh my gosh, like, you're borderline man, like I would have thought you were a man if you didn't tell me"? Yes, there are, but that one, no. Like, you could see that is very clearly a woman. Look, I feel like there's a lot of straight women who would insist if you put Michael B. Jordan in some femboy attire, right? He's just wearing like just straight femboy gear. Maybe you wouldn't be attracted to him anymore. But I'm not gonna lie, if you put a woman in a burlap sack that men find attractive, they're gonna find her attractive. Especially she's approaching these men, she's taking the initiative, she's definitely gonna get a number. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like there's a lot of men where if something they're not even that attracted to approaches them, they're going to give out their information because they're like, "Oh my gosh, a woman's approaching me." I just can't believe that people in this day and age can like see a video like this and then like be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna have any context clues at all. I'm just gonna be like, oh, men like studs, oh, they're attracted to men." And the thing is, I say this as someone where I'm like, if a man is like too attracted to a stud who like looks super masculine, then yeah, maybe. The thing is, this is someone who's dressing like a stud who clearly still looks like a woman, so I don't know where we're getting at.
I mean, you can clearly tell that she's a woman. Like this experiment is not going to go the way that you think it's going to go. The man shook her hand. He's doing his thing, but he's not being rude about it. A lot of you guys, a lot of times, modern women will be straight up rude. They'll turn their noses up. They'll call a man a creep. It's just not going to turn out like you think it is most of the time. I'd say probably 90% of the time it's not going to turn out. A man's not going to be like, why are you talking to me? It's just not going to happen.
All right, who's going to win? The little Hispanic guy or the two female cops in full body armor? Great. It's great. He's a game for him. He's not even trying. They're starting to laugh too. I believe in you. Whoever wins, I believe in you. Good God, he's getting it. Well, the cops can't do their jobs. They cannot subdue a 140-pound Hispanic guy, but that guy did.
I didn't have fun watching.
That was fucking sad for the female cops. I guess they can't do their job. They still can't do their job.
I was about to laugh at this, but then just as I was about to laugh, the regular, like the normal, just, I'm pulling away. Just like, no. That kind of scared me, man. I was like, wait a minute. He's not even fighting anymore. I mean, look at this. And he just holds up his phone like, hey, stop playing. And then he just backs up. Hey, stop playing. He's just standing there. Like, cut it out. Quit playing. They look like, you can see that they're actually trying. But it just looks like he's having fun. I'm telling you guys, the strength, if he actually wanted to leave, he can. He's just not actually trying to leave right now. Nah, I don't know, man. Y'all need to go ahead and call for backup. And it's not even a pride thing. Y'all need backup now. I mean, you're trying to hold his leg. This man is not worried about y'all. This man can literally leave right now. He could literally run right now. There you go. There you go. Hey, yeah, now see that? Now see, there it is. There it is. Get down. There it is. That's what you need. Now, a lot of these modern women are going to be like, oh, I don't need a man to protect me. No. Drop that pride, drop that ego, and go ahead and get him up out of there.
So we just found out that women's biological clock doesn't actually tick. It's actually men. Men have the biological clock. When men reach the age of 30, their sperm quality starts to decline. I mean, I think that's probably why they also start balding. And I know that like women have menopause, so we have a set number of eggs in our body. But that doesn't mean we're expiring, that just means we're running out of resources. That's it. Men actually have the biological clock that expires, which makes sense as an older woman if you want to date a much younger man, because then you can actually have a child without having to worry about any sort of like birth complications. Food for thought.
It's not a lot of food because this is ignorant. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? We don't have to do this. Man, it is what it is. All men were saying, and they weren't trying to shame you, they were just saying, y'all are out here playing around. You know you're going to want a husband. Plan for that. Y'all plan for everything else but settling down and in companionship. That's all men have been saying. Dog.
Excuse my face, I'm hungover, but I'm so fucking pissed. I've been plotting on this old hoe for a really long time. And I told him, this is the first time I hinted at it. I was like, hey, I'm trying to fuck some. Bitch gonna have the audacity to be like, eventually we'll get to that. Bitch, you're old, you're gonna die.
So now men are saying, I'm not giving out the D nor my money for free. Bars. Don DeMarco.
And another reason why I'm very single, y'all, is because nowadays men don't actually want to take you out on a date. It's crazy how many times I've been asked from a guy, I find it so disrespectful for a guy to ask me, oh, instead of, going on a date or whatever, instead of going on a date, let's just go to my crib. That's just the very easy way of them just wanting to fuck. And after a guy has told me that, I get the automatic ick. I'm just like, ew, I know you just see me in a lustful way. I know you just want to fuck and just to do shit with me. I'm not that type of female that's just gonna fuck and do shit with you like that, honey. I told guys straight up, I'm waiting for marriage. I'm not just gonna be a virgin just because I want to be a virgin. No, we have to be connected in a way. And it's when I tell someone I'm a virgin, they never believe me. They're like, oh, what? You're 21 and you're a virgin? Yeah, honey, I'm 21 and a virgin. And what about it? I'm loud and proud saying it. I don't care if people are going to judge me for being a virgin. It's just how I grew up and how I think. I just think that's the best thing you could do right now is be a virgin. And just don't go to a guy's crib. I don't do that. I'm not going to your crib just to do things with you, honey. I don't believe in that. That's the easy way for you just to fuck me.
Now, these guys who ask you this, are they the guys from your friend zone? Or are they guys that your friends, the guys in your friend zone, have told you to be careful of and to watch out for? And you still went out there trying to talk to them and you're surprised at what they say.
There's a man up here that posted and said, we aren't having a male loneliness epidemic. It's natural selection. No one is choosing you because you don't have the things that would make a very good next generation. It's not male loneliness. It is inadequacy and incompetence. And honestly, probably something about the way you look just doesn't sit right with people. So.
Dude in the comments said that Kevin Samuels nailed this years ago. Years ago. He actually did. Modern women don't change. Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right.
If I hear another joke about a female loneliness epidemic, I will laugh my fucking ass off. You guys were given 1 ounce of freedom, told you guys can be content creators, you can be fitness influencers, and most of you jumped immediately to doing, you guys didn't even fail college, you didn't fail a business first. Like most people go, I need to be able to pay for college. No, you guys were like, I'm gonna turn 18 and do OnlyFans, yay, but now I can't find a husband, and then you're crying about it. I just don't get it.
And this is it. This is exactly it. Men have told these women, look out. Hey, don't present yourself in that way. Hey, a man is not going to like that. Why would I be worried about a man? Because at some point in time, you're going to want to get in a relationship with a man. I don't care nothing about men, but you will care about companionship. And because you don't like women, you're going to go towards men. And men don't like this type of stuff that you're doing. Just telling you right now. And y'all don't listen to it until, honestly and truly, they'll probably realize at about 25. Really about 23, that, hey, maybe this was a mistake that I did this. And then from about 23 to 25 or so on, they'll spend trying to heal and learn themselves. And then from about, I'll say, really honestly and truly, 23, 25, I'll stretch that out to about 26 or 27. They'll spend trying to heal, travel the world, do therapy and stuff like that. Then about 27, they'll start trying to do another career, and they'll be successful in that career or mildly successful in that career about 27 to about 32. Then right around about 32 to 35, they're going to start dating and looking, and they're going to find that the dating market for them has dried up. And then they're going to be wondering, where are all the good men at? How come I can't find a good man? Well, half of the men that you're trying to get to court you have already seen your material. They've already paid you for your services in whatever club you've gone to, because that's all they wanted you for, right? So then the other guys, they've also seen you and said, no. You might even have some dudes in there in the friend zone that are like, hey, I wouldn't go down this road if I were you. Bro told you that when you were telling him in high school, you might do this, and you said it as a joke. And because he was a friend to you, he said, hey, I know we're laughing about this, but don't do that. You're too beautiful. You're worth more than that to be out here doing this type of stuff. And you went on ahead and did it anyway. And now you try to go back to him, but that man's got a family. And even if he don't got a family, he's like, no, you know what? Respectfully, we can be friends. We can go get a drink. But I was telling you back then, I didn't like that. And I'm sticking with what I said back then.
My last video received a lot of negative comments about the 75 prospects and the 98 dates that I went on before meeting my fiance. The reality is I did this over a 2-year dating intentionally period. That's 1 date a week. This pace did not feel like a burden for me. In fact, it felt like a way that I was honoring my faith and moving forward and trusting in God's timing.
That is work, and that is spaced out. I don't know if I have a huge problem with it in terms of, hey, we're just going on a date. I think the issue for me would be at some point in time, like if you have to go on 52 dates, 98, like what are you missing here? You know what I mean? Like, why are you not seeing and talking to the man before you even go out on that date? Because you got to remember that man's spending money, right? And he's spending his time, which I know you probably don't care about. But if you can save people time and money, if you can be considerate of that, then I think, it might be better for both of y'all, right? You don't have to waste your time. He doesn't have to waste his, and he keeps money. So I think that's probably what people would kind of push back on there. But 1 date a week for 2 years is dedication. Some of these women are going on multiple dates a week, and they don't plan on marrying anybody. So, kudos to you for trying to get married.
My husband called me this weekend while he was at work, and he said, hey, I got something to tell you, and I instantly get scared. He said they're about to tell me gut-wrenching news or something really important that I got to take care of. He doesn't call me at work unless it's an absolute must. He says, what's my name in your phone? And I say his name and what it is. It's his name with a little heart, whatever. Nothing too much. I'm a simple girl. And this man tells me, you know what your name's going to be in my phone once we have the wedding? And I said, what, baby? Second wife. Second wife. Then he says maybe I'll change it to new and improved. Or the upgrade. I thought he was going to piss himself. He thought this was so funny. And then I asked, are you serious? And he said, no, I'm just trying to ruffle your feathers a little bit. Why are men like this?
And you know, there's going to be a lot of modern women that will be like, he's gaslighting you. You need to leave him now. Get out of this relationship. It only gets worse. You'll see in 10 years. I learned my lesson.
The quote, Dr.
Let's talk about it. Black women are in record numbers going to college. We're opening degrees. We're getting accolades. We're running nonprofits. There's a large portion of black women who are educating themselves and taking their lives to the next level, while the black men are not reaching those goals. They're not meeting us on those levels.
Black women are the largest group of entrepreneurs. They also have more degrees. There are more black women in the C-suite. And to quote Dr. Umar Johnson, you don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
It's very suspicious.
You don't find that suspicious?
Go ahead.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Black women also have the majority and the highest rate of student loan debt, which means your debt to income ratio is shot. Problem number one. Problem number two is you spend all that time getting these things on you and not getting any learning in you. Having more degrees than a thermometer does not mean that you understand the temperature of our people. On top of that, I don't need a degree to tell you I'm a man. Most of my degrees are sitting in a drawer and the rest of them are at my mama's house in Arizona. I ain't seen them. It don't matter. Everything I learned in college was about happening outside of the classroom.
But you went to college, though.
Hold on.
You went to college, though.
I went to college to please my mother. I had a record deal. I was singing backgrounds for Teddy Pendergrass. Let's tell the whole story, not just the parts you like. And
but most you still went to college.
Again, most of us, black men specifically, go to college out of pressure from their mamas and their grandmamas, not because it's something to do to better themselves. The school industrial complex is made for black women. There have been several studies on this that talk about how young black boys are automatically labeled as behavior problems. They were labeled as educable mentally retarded back when Les Brown was in school, and that's going all the way back to the 50s. Then you sit up there and you put them in the programs, then you double down on their reading scores so that you know how many prisons to build. Everything is set up to make sure you rise and think that you are now above us, as opposed to realizing that there's a conspiracy to separate you from me.
My degree's in my closet. They in the closet. I hung them up finally. I think I received those degrees, like one of them in 2014 and then like another one in 2019, something like that. And I never hung those things up until like 2024. I moved and they've been in the closet ever since. They still in the closet. I want to hang them up. I want to show them respect, but most of that you're gonna learn with getting your hands dirty. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of trial and error for a man. And so, you know, you got your, about the only thing I'm taking from my degree is like, you got to do research. You got to do research, and you got sources to where you can research what you're looking for, right? So that helps out. But as far as, you know, waving these degrees around, I might have put that on a dating profile here and there. I might have put, you know, I did put that on a dating profile, and I had women probably in their 50s or 60s, bro, trying to get at me, talking about, you know, I'll cook and clean or something like that, you know. Not my cup of tea, but it is what it is. I don't really use those degrees, right? Because, you know, it's not something that I would lead with. You know, you lead with what you're already doing, and that's getting in there and getting your hands dirty, right? And learning lessons from that and spreading it. That's how men learn. Get their hands dirty, and then they spread that with the community, right? So we don't tend to, unless we're, you know, being toxic, which sometimes we can be. We don't tend to you know, kind of put that over each other. You might hear a little trash talk here and there, but you know, when it gets time to work, it's time to work.
Men truly are the most simple creatures ever. There was this one time where I was hooking up with the sous chef at my job, and he didn't speak that much English. He was like, yo guapo, tu guapo, and that was kind of it. That was our connection, you know? And it worked. We didn't have to talk that much. It was cool. And I remember one day he texted me, because we would just use Google Translate. And he texted me and was like, I love our connection. And I'm like, bro, what connection? We don't talk. We just make out. And I sit on your face. That's it. And like, I think that just shows how simple guys are. And that's all they want. That's their connection. And what a life. I could never relate, but what a life.
You don't think it was maybe not a connection? He was just there to clap your cheeks? Why would you be telling this story online?
Girls are always giving guys deadlines that they know nothing about. One time my friend dated someone and she went on a first date, and after the first date she dumped the guy like 3 times in her head. It was over until he asked her out again. The problem is that the guy didn't do like any of the things he was meant to do after the first date. Like even, I don't want to give too much away here, but he like didn't text her or anything, or he just was like completely silent basically, which was pretty weird. And so she, you know, had like, okay, well, if he doesn't text me by 1 o'clock the next day, then that's over. Or if 5 o'clock, it's over. 8 o'clock, it's over. Next morning, over. But 2 days later, he did remember that she existed. And he did remember that they had gone on a date, and I guess he texted her to ask her out again. And he doesn't even know that they broke up 4 times already. He has it so easy, you know? He's just going about his day like, oh, la-di-da, not knowing that he has about 11 minutes left on the clock. And then the 11 minutes pass, and he doesn't even make the deadline at all. And so she's like, all right, that's it, it's over. Except she forgets to tell him this, so it's just over, you know, on her side, in her head. And then eventually, I guess, she got over the 4 breakups. Anyway, they're doing pretty well now.
A dude in the comments said, my ex-wife stayed mad at me for a month because I was flirting with some other girl in her dream. In her dream. Dang. This is why men have decided to go their own way. This is why men have decided to get out of the dating game altogether. They've held on for as long as they possibly could until foolishness like this continues to creep up.
Y'all need to go ahead and cut it out with this whole male loneliness epidemic bullshit. It's not real. It's fake. It's fake. I have single friends. They happy as hell. They're living their best life. From the conversations that I've had with them, I've been out the game almost 7 years. Damn. Anyway, from what they have told me, they have never been able to save so much money while also getting as much cash. Effortless. It's literally effortless to them. One of my buddies, he works in an oil rig. He's gone for a month and then back for 2 weeks, gone for a month back. That's just his whole schedule throughout the years. Bro told me it's amazing because he's single, he's saving money. When he gets home for those 2 weeks, it requires him nothing to get some box. Like literally nothing. Maybe dinner and a movie. No commitment whatsoever at all. And I frown upon him living that way. He knows it. He ain't gonna get mad at me for posting this. I always tell him, bro, settle down. But at the same time, there's no real need for him to settle down. He's gone. He don't gotta worry about his girl cheating on him. He ain't gotta worry about starting no family and him not being home for a month. He ain't gotta worry about not getting no box. He said these girls are just giving it up. And they feel as though it's empowering. Like they're giving it up. He said sometimes he be on some romantic shit, and then they be like, "Hey, you want to come to my house?" Then it's up. It's up. These ain't like some little hood rats off the street. He showed me the IGs and they family. Like these women are like women. Great jobs, great families, well groomed, look like they smell nice. They don't look dusty, is what I'm saying. The male loneliness epidemic is fake. It's not real.
Got a guy in the comments, a couple of guys actually talking about, man, I'm at peace. I'm not lonely. I done built a couple of businesses. I'm out here thriving, man. I ain't lonely at all. But then on the other hand, you have a man that says, listen, I can call women whenever I want to get a little something, but I'm still craving real connection. I think most men do. I think most men want that real connection. But I think if they have to pay thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, and even with the money aside, if they have to put up with nonsense over and over again, especially from some of these ladies that are single moms, would I choose that over being happy? Probably not.
Listen, I was not put on this earth to work a 9 to 5. I was put on this earth to bake cakes and suck dick.
I don't know how many men are going to disagree with you. Quite honestly, if a woman would get this through her head, how many stay-at-home wives would we have? How many of them?
What you're saying is thrive for more.
Yes.
As a man, you should thrive for more. You should have an ambition to do more and more. The goal should be to fucking take care of your family. That should be your goal, and should thrive to be in a comfortable spot. But you will. I've said this again and again. Your job is not your hobby or your passion. Your job is a means to fund your hobbies. You're taking it too far. It's true. You're taking it too far. I agree with her. So mad. Me.
You know, there are some women that actually believe in this. So they'll pick their hobbies and their passions, and they'll pick all of that stuff. Well, I want a job that aligns with my hobbies and my passions and what I'm passionate about and what I like as a passion. You know, it's not a day of work if I love doing it and it's my passion. I don't want to do anything that I'm not passionate about. But when it comes to a man, oh no, you don't have to like this. I just make money. Make money, support your family, give that money to your hobbies and whatever it is. You be miserable at work while I sit around and have fun and I pick something. You need to go to work doing things that you don't like to do and you don't want to do. While I sit at the house, you support me in finding things that I would like to do and doing that, no matter how much or how little it pays. And most of the time for modern women, it pays very little. That's why you have men in the comments saying, may this love never find me. Yeah. Never.
Dating as a 35-year-old woman is embarrassing. I feel embarrassed for women. I feel embarrassed for men. What are we even doing?
There's dudes in the comments like, you can't be 35. As a 35-year-old woman. Yep. They're in the comments asking, how are you single? There's multiple reasons it could be.
Propaganda I'm not falling for, supporting women even when they're in the wrong just because they're a woman and calling it being a girl's girl. No, that's called enabling. And you're weird.
There was a woman here in the comments that said, I'm tired of holding women accountable and being called a pick-me. Or supporting and defending men when they aren't doing anything wrong and being called a pick-me. I think there, the operative phrase or the key phrase is when they aren't doing anything wrong. That means she's saying there's sometimes that men do things that they should not be doing. But if they ain't doing anything wrong, I don't mind supporting them and defending them. You still get called a pick-me just because you're not being a girl's girl and you're supporting a man.
We have to initiate on men. I don't care what anybody says. In this economy, we need to initiate on men. Start the conversation. Pick our apples. There's no way men are supposed to be picking us, because what in the world is even... What is this? Do you see the men that come up to you? Illegal.
I think the word, the phrase in this economy, going forward in any economy, y'all are probably going to have to do the brunt work. If modern women get worse than they already are, it don't matter the landscape or the era. Y'all are going to have to approach.
If you as a man go out with your girlfriend and she brings all her other girlfriends, maybe 3 or 4 friends, are you paying for all of them or are you not? If you invited them or didn't, does that make a difference?
I don't even know why you guys are asking this question. This is childish behavior, in my opinion. For y'all to expect for a man to pay for not just you, but for your friends. Oh, he's buying. Come on, girls. What is this? Is this a wishing well or something like that? Be responsible. I understand that there are some men out there that, oh yeah, they can come and, oh, I'm gonna get this. No, don't worry about it. I got it. I can see situations like that. But for y'all to say, hey, no, my man's not gonna care, and y'all just to be spending up stuff, really? Come on, guys.
By far the funniest thing that I have seen this week on this app was just like a regular guy asking the internet at large, hey, this girl I'm talking to said I should send her money to get her nails done. Before I send it, does it really cost $350? In the comment section. The comment section passed the vibe check. There were like actual verified brands, makeup brands, skincare brands, just like brands that target women to sell their products in the comment section of this video being like, oh my God, is she getting a 50% discount? Like, no, that's not enough. You need to send her more than that. Is she just getting like one nail done? That is how you target me as a 34-year-old woman on social media. That's an instant follow for me.
It doesn't matter if you follow. Are you going to buy their products? Is I think what they're looking for. See, what you guys like to do is live in a world of social media where they play these types of games, and it's a type of pettiness and carrying on that you like, and it really gets you nowhere, right? But when you get out in the real world with a man that you actually like and you're playing these types of games, those brands are not going to save you. There's going to be no comment section to pass a vibe check. You're going to be alone, talking stupid. The man's going to clock it, and y'all are going to be over with.
Okay, now that the video's resurfaced, can somebody explain to me why all of you were telling me she was just peeping through the window, and then it turned into, oh no, the door was half open and then she went all the way in, because the only factual evidence you could find on the original video, because you never saw it yourself, is the screen grab of her in front of the door wide open, so you had to make up a lie and say that she saw it half open and then walked all the way in. And now that the video's resurfaced and it shows that in fact the door was all the way wide open and she only went up to the door where you delivered the food and then backed away immediately, now you're saying that she didn't start recording until after she went and opened the door?
So I'm listening to this video, and I think my thing is, if the door, right? If the order says, and I think that's what we need to get, if the order said, you know what? It doesn't matter what the order said. If the man said come in the door, do not come in the door at all. As a door dasher, you have to maintain some sort of professionalism. I'm not coming into your house. I could see if it was like an apartment building, come up to the front desk, hand it to the concierge, or hand it to the attendant at the front desk, hand it to security, whoever it is. If I can't get in your door, I'm leaving it right there at the doorstep. If somebody steals your food because you wouldn't answer my phone calls, well, you know, I can't help you there. You take that up with DoorDash or whatever it is. But I've been trying to text you, I've been trying to call you, I've been trying to ring you, I've been trying to get in control of you or get a hold of you, but you're not listening. You know what? Why don't we go ahead and I think somebody else said they had the original video, because we're talking about the original video here. Let's go ahead and watch that. So she's got some commentary right here, but she got a little bit of the original video. All right, so we have you at the door. This is not cropped. This doesn't look like it's cropped. You can kind of see, thank you for the kisses right there. It kind of blurs out what he's doing. If you can see him from right there, which you probably can, he's got no clothes on. Most door dashes say leave it at the door, okay, or knock and leave it. If you see him like that, I'm not knocking. I don't know if I'm saying anything, right? I might just have to take an L. It looks like it's dark outside. I don't know what happened. I don't even know why he would be naked laying on the couch. Maybe he thought, okay, I'm just going to open the door and then go back and put some clothes on. He sat down for a little while. Maybe he's out in the country, and that's what they do out in the country, because sometimes out in the country they walk around with no clothes on because they're out in the country and they can do that. right? I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm just saying they have the ability to do that because there's nobody out there, right? But if you have somebody come into your house, don't answer the door like this, or don't even leave the door open like this, right? I don't know if this is something that, you know, gets him off. I have no idea. All I know is at this point, okay, you know, I don't know if you would even be filming walking up to the door, right? You would come up to the door. Ooh, no, see it, drop it. Oh, whoa, what is this? And you would probably, I would think, run back to your car. Oh, that was weird. Some guy, like, even if you were walking back to your car and you're like, man, like you were in your car driving away, you're like, some guy just was laying on the couch butt naked. What is wrong with men? Even if you were doing that, instead, it looks like it's dark. Like I said, I think I can see lights down there at the bottom of the door. Okay. Hold on. Okay. So this is what I mean. Sorry. You can see lights down there at the bottom of the door. So it looks like it's nighttime. If you're worried about your safety, I'm not going back up there to record no video. If that man is acting weird, I'm not going up there to record no video. No, nothing. So if you see him right here, you probably dropped off that food, which looks like right down there. Okay. And you're now walking back, filming it. So essentially what you're doing, I don't want to say for clout, but it is kind of for clout. And she doesn't think that she's doing anything wrong because it's become so commonplace today with how modern women document everything and they put everything online instead of saying, whoop, let me get out of here. They're not concerned about danger. If it was danger, they're not concerned about any of that. And I think they said both of them got banned, right? So if he's saying, why did I get banned? You can kind of see, you know, even if they're probably not going to take your word for it, right? Because you're laying on the couch naked. So they're probably gonna be like, babe, bro, don't treat our dashers like that. And then for her, they're probably gonna come over the top and say, hey, you know, I don't know why you're recording people naked and posting online. That's weird. That's weird. Banned. So if we want to leave it at that, bada bing, bada boom, but don't get up here and say that SA was committed. You're out here looking at this man. Stop this.
You guys, it doesn't matter whether you think the man was right or wrong for doing what he was doing in the privacy of his own home because there was no intent showed. That is New York law. You have to show intent, and there was no intent shown. So it doesn't matter how you feel about it, whether you think it was right or wrong. If someone can do that, leave the door open. Legally, he did absolutely nothing wrong. He will not get in trouble whatsoever. Maybe a little like, close your door next time. But what she did was 1,000% illegal. You cannot record somebody naked in their own home, even from the doorway, even for evidence at all. That is against the law. 100% that is against the law. And I already stated in my 2 previous videos why it's against the law and gave you the actual law case numbers. It's against the law to record anybody in their own home, even if you are on the outside. That would be like a peeping Tom. That'd be like someone recording you from the window while you aren't noticing because there's no consent. And posting it to the internet makes it a felony charge because she is also monetized on this account, on her account, and she's making money off of naked pictures of somebody else that did not give consent. She's making money off of naked pictures of somebody who did not give consent. That is highly illegal and definitely felony charges. Look up the law. I already posted the other videos and gave you the exact law numbers and what makes it illegal. Anyone who's arguing this is using their emotion. I have not once given my personal opinion on this situation. I have given you law because I was curious. I'm like, is he in the wrong or is she in the wrong? And I looked it up and I went on a deep dive research about who was in the right and who was in the wrong. And she was 1,000% in the wrong. You cannot record somebody in their own home naked, even for evidence. Even for evidence, she should have gone to her car, sat in her car, called the police, waited for them to show up, and that was that. She should never have recorded him, and then posting it to the internet makes it a felony charge. She could face up to 7 years in prison for each felony charge that she gets. And reposting it, she said that TikTok kept taking it down. Every time she reposted it, that means that's another felony charge added to her. This woman is facing years in prison if he files charges. He's going to win money of some sort. She is 1,000% in the wrong, no matter how you personally feel about it. Whether you come up with all these different scenarios, if that was you or if that was your kid, it doesn't matter. That's not what is happening here. That is not the case. And you don't even know that the guy laying on the couch is the guy who ordered DoorDash. He could have had a roommate and he didn't know that his roommate was ordering DoorDash and the guy fell asleep on the couch. You don't know this. She could be recording somebody that didn't even order the food. Somebody else could have ordered the food for him. What if that guy on the couch is underage? You don't know any of this information. But by the information that we do know, everything she has done is illegal. Felony charges. She is going to get in trouble. A lot of trouble for what she did. You can't post naked pictures of people without consent on the internet. Distributing it to millions of people makes it even worse, and that she's monetized and gaining a social media platform off of it. That makes it 1,000 times worse. She's not going to make a dime off this. She's going to end up owing a lot of money to this guy and potentially going to prison. What do you guys not understand? Take your emotion out of it. Take your emotion out of the situation and look at the law. What she did was against the law. There is nothing against the law for what he did. There was zero intent shown. Okay?
I don't agree with what she says a lot, but this is spot on. At some point in time, that's what I'm saying. If you would have just left it there, just leave the food and run. Man, what is this guy doing? But because modern women feel like they're the movie stars, they feel like they're celebrities, instead of just leaving the food and going wherever you go, or just going home, you decided, you know what? That was weird. How would people feel about it? And people caught on to that. TikTok said, oh no, we're not gonna have this. They're deleting my video, they're silencing me. Oh no, we're not gonna have this on the platform. You know, there's some things on TikTok you cannot search, regardless if anybody else said it. No, this is something that somebody said. No. ChatGPT, Grok, Google, Gemini. There's certain things regardless, and they'll sit up there and tell you, I understand what you're saying. I cannot generate that. I cannot say that. I cannot help you with that because of this, and this. So if you get on TikTok thinking that you can post certain things, you cannot. Whoa, somebody said this, somebody said that. And I understand there's a balance, or there's an imbalance, I should say. Sorry about that. There's an imbalance. But you cannot post this, man. This is a literal crime. It's a crime.
Exactly. You know you're not doing your job as a feminist in the public eye when men watch your content or they like it and agree with it. I also just saw somebody's comment and she said that when she was in college and she was seeing a guy, he was suggesting her to listen to the podcast. This podcast, like, men listened to it too. They knew what it was about. They knew that Alex Cooper was trying to pimp out her audience and telling women that they needed to be good in bed or else they couldn't keep a boyfriend. Men thought this was fucking hilarious. They knew that it was benefiting them, and they knew that Alex Cooper was basically influencing her audience to only see value in themselves if they could offer men sex. She taught them that what they could offer sexually was the only thing that they were worth. The men benefit from women like her having a podcast like that, and they know how to continue to brainwash women and say, well, if you don't like this podcast, then you're just contributing to purity culture and you're trying to slut shame women. And that's how they get them. They try to say that somebody like Alex Cooper, if you don't like her, that you're anti-woman or anti-feminist, but it is the exact fucking opposite. And obviously I would have to do a lot of extensive research on this. I'm not a journalist, I'm not a researcher, but I really feel like people like her and her podcast definitely have influenced even the younger generations of women, because I'm 27 years old. I used to hang out with like a group of 22-year-olds and they were a little bit too mature for me. They would tell me horror stories. This one girl was hooking up with guys because she was like, I need to, like I would feel weird if I didn't, like. And then she said she hooked up with this one guy and he purposely gave her an STD, like he was a serial STD giver or whatever, and like he did it on purpose because he hates women. The dating scene and like all the shit that's going on, it is such a goddamn shit show, and I am very afraid for these younger generations of women. They don't know what the fuck they're doing because they do not have anybody to guide them. Same with that girl in the video that I'm responding to where I talk about how she never had an orgasm. She's never had one. She's 22 years old. She's never had one, and she's slept with around like 20 different men, and she doesn't masturbate because she thinks it's wrong or she thinks it's weird. She's like, I don't know, it's like, it freaks me out. This is so, we are in a like health crisis here. We are in like a public health crisis with how young women approach sex. And it's very sad and frustrating because even women my own age, they think that Alex Cooper is like this fucking hero. They loved her. They were huge fans of her. And it's frustrating. She is giving advice and telling women to do things that are like very degrading, but like women eat it up and label it as feminist.
So at any point in time, is the woman going to take responsibility, or parents or anybody going to take responsibility for who she follows? Who she allows to influence her, who she allows to speak into her life? I mean, the guy that gave her all of that stuff purposely, yeah, I mean, you take him to jail, prosecute him, do whatever you need to do with him. But at some point in time, are we going to say, hey, why are you continuing to sleep around with all these men so that you even run into a man like that? Well, I feel like I have to. But you don't. You don't. So stop doing that. It's not a man's fault you did that. That's your fault.